Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Good to have you with me on this Tuesday morning. And I hope that you had a good start to your week. We had a good night here yesterday and out soul winning. And was able to go out with one of my assistant pastors on yesterday at 4. And both of us was able to see someone saved, get people lined up for church on Sunday, then went back out last night, followed up on some people who were just kind of missing, and was able to go meet them and find out what's going on. They're supposed to be back on Sunday. And of course, this Sunday, One Day Sunday. And here at the Maranatha Baptist Church, looking forward to that, seeing what God's going to do. Excited about that. And so I hope that wherever you are, that you're looking forward to having a good day. And then today, let's be about our Father's business. Let's go find somebody who we can invite to church and try to get them here. That would be the best thing in all the world to do. I want to talk to you today about what happens when you miss church. John chapter 20, verse 25, it says, the other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand to his side, I will not believe. These are the words of Thomas. You see, this was the first Sunday church service when Jesus met with the disciples after he rose from the dead on the first day of the week. So the one person who was not there was Thomas. This is interesting. So when the disciples who were present told him what had happened at the church service, his doubt came about him not believing. He had doubt about whether Jesus actually rose from the dead. In fact, he said, except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails. Put my finger in the print of the nails and thrust my hand into his side. Listen to those statements. He says, I will not believe. Now, you have to understand that Thomas was likely at every service before this when Jesus preached, but he missed one service. That's all, just one. And that one service affected his faith and his relationship with Christ. So you see, when you miss church or are unfaithful to church, all the church services, it does affect your walk with God and your perspective in life. You cannot be a good Christian and be unfaithful to all of the church services. I've never seen one person who's a good Christian that misses church. Never. Being in church is critical to your spiritual health and walk with God. Now, I know you're saying, oh, Brother Dominic, you're just being a preacher. No, it's just in the Word of God. Let's use Thomas' example of missing church to show you what missing church missing one church service can do to your Christian walk. First, missing church affects your peace in life. At this first Sunday church service, Jesus said to his disciples, he said, peace be unto you. Now get this. Now, the events that had happened in the previous week caused the disciples to be filled with anxiety and distress. But being at church calmed their anxiety when Jesus gave them peace. You will struggle to find peace in your life when you miss church. Church has a way of calming your outlook on life and gives you the peace you need to face life despite the trials that you face. Second, missing church causes you to miss the miraculous. Thomas could not say that he was at the first church service after Jesus rose from the dead. Imagine, you say, well, I just witnessed the miracle. The one that was dead is now alive. They saw the miracle. Many have missed God doing something miraculous by missing one church service. You will never understand the excitement that others have who saw God do something wonderful if you're not there. Listen, you never know which service God will choose to do the miraculous. So if you don't want to miss it, be there for every service. Third, missing church affects your faith in God. So Thomas did not believe because his faith was not built when he missed church. That's why he didn't believe. See, your faith in God will never be what it could be if you're unfaithful to a church service. All it takes for your faith to begin to waver is missing one service. You will live your life in unbelief if you're unfaithful to church. And belief is the catalyst of faith, and faith is the catalyst of miracles. And that's what allows you to stay excited for God. So your faith, your church has a way of strengthening that faith and challenging your faith, not just because of the preaching of the word of God, but being around others whose faith has been built as well. Fourth, missing church affects your will. Thomas said, I will not believe. Thomas lived in his will instead of God's will because he missed church. Now, you will never surrender to God's will when you miss church. God's will determines your fulfillment in life. So if you want to live a fulfilling life in God's will, you've got to be faithful to church. Nobody has missed church and lived in the will of God. Nobody. Fifth, missing church caused you to miss God's mission for your life. Jesus told the disciples, as my Father hath sent me, even so send I you. Now, God made you for a purpose, and you will never find that purpose if you miss church. God made you for some reason to be put on this earth. And a lot of times when we're at church, it was at church that I was called to preach. It was at church I surrendered to be an evangelist. Now, I want you to understand that many times God speaks to your heart, shows you his will for your life in church. You're going to miss that purpose if you're unfaithful to church. Listen to me, church has a way of encouraging you to do what God made you to do, and if you'll just be there. So simply put, don't miss church. My friend, I know that some just say, I just don't see the importance of it. Okay. Do you see the importance of soap? You say, well, I know it cleans me. Yeah. Why? Because you've been using it for all those years. So why don't, now listen to me, the reason why you don't see the importance of church is because you're not being there all the time. If you'll start going to church all the time and start serving, you're going to find church is vital. I'm telling you, you're going to miss the one sermon that you're going to need that's going to help you in life. You're going to miss it if you're not there for church all the time. There are sermons that God gives me, not for today, but for things I'm going to face tomorrow because I'm faithful to church. If I miss church, I want to miss it. So I'm going to challenge you. Let's be faithful to Sunday school, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. Let's be faithful to every service. And if we'll be faithful to every service, I'm telling you right now, God can help us in our life. We'll be successful in serving God if we just won't miss church. Well, I hope this is a help to you today. Now let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a